Hello everybody, Vail here with Endgame with Vail, and we're going to be looking at two endgame problems, whole board problems, 11 by 11, but still. And we're going to be trying to figure out what the best moves are for white in one board and black in the other. So, in this first board, this is black to play, and what we're doing is we need to find the best endgame moves for black. So I have not, as is my way, I have not looked at the answers for these problems. So I'm doing this with you, and I am now going to pause the video and try to figure this out myself. And then when I come back, hopefully you'll have done the same, and we can compare notes. So let me pause the video real briefly and see what I can see. So I'm pretty sure I don't have this correct, but it seems fairly obvious to me that this move at J1 would be the first move. And while not much here is Sente for black, there's only a few moves left that white can take, and they're all Sente for white. And I don't think there's any follow-ups from here, but the problem is that after this, the score estimator says that it is even. Now, I'm pretty sure that the problems in this game all want you to find a win for whoever you're playing for. So in this case, it would be black. And so this must not be the right one. There must be some way to get an extra point. So that having been said, I will now pause the video and we can check the answer. Okay, so as expected, did not get this one correct. But in my defense, this one has a Tesuji. It has an interesting, a unique endgame move, a special move. And that special move is not there. It is there. And it took me a little unpacking to figure out why. I will just show you the sequence as it shows it in the book. So after black plays this Tesuji, which I'll explain why it's a Tesuji in a moment, white Atari's it. And then everything kind of progresses the way we saw it before, with the exception that instead of the Hane at J1, black plays J2. And then everything else is pretty much the same in the correct order, so I feel good about that. And then the book said that after all of this is done, white has to come back and capture that stone. And then black can finish it off here. And once white fills at G1, now black probably, I haven't checked, black probably wins by 1 point, right? Black wins by 1, yeah. So why is that move so special? Why did white have to respond to it? Well, notice what happens if white instead tries to get a few more points. Black can now Hane, and when white connects, he's captured. Okay, you might say, but that makes sense. But what about why does white have to play this move right away? Why can't he just take a big move? This one was really interesting to me. I thought this was fascinating. So black would throw in. That's one option. Okay, that's one bad thing. But notice now that after this, so there's still an Atari. So white has to capture. Black does a throw in here, and then this whole group is dead. Even if white captures this, there's not two eyes. There's only one eye. And so eventually white or black will be able to capture this whole group. That is really cool. I really liked this problem. So this is a Tesuji. And when I first looked at it, I thought there's something that could happen there, but I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. So this is there. I know that there's a bunch of types of endgame Tesujis. They're pretty much always going to be on the first or second lines. This is just one that slipped past me. and I'm glad I learned about it. So now let's load up the next one, and we will take a look at our next board problem, which looks like this. Now these are the best moves for white, so I am again going to pause the video, and why don't you do the same and see if you can find the best endgame moves for white. All right. Hey, I think I might have figured one out. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but I've got a couple of variations here that look promising. So here's the first obvious one that I thought of was this, and this doesn't work, I don't think, because after white tries to kill those two stones in the most direct way possible, uh, this is actually a really interesting sequence because black can Hane here, and white white makes this throw in to capture, black can ignore it and play here, and that's an Atari. So white needs to capture those two stones, and then black can play here, at which point white would capture, black would fill, and then we fill in a few other minor spots. This is a preparation move to move in, and once black does that, that would be the game. And this ends with a win by, I think, 2 points for black. So this obviously isn't going to work. So if this move isn't the correct move, there's the only other thing I could find would be maybe this move. Because the problem all stemmed from, in this original variation, it stemmed from black being able to push in at a3. But this move would stop that from happening. So perhaps black tries to kill this way. Now white blocks. Black's group does have an extra liberty, but it doesn't help in the long run to save black's group on the bottom. And because of white's initial move at a2, black can no longer push in with impunity at a3. So he needs this setup move early. Once black makes the setup move, white only has 2 liberties. So white needs to stay 1 move ahead, capture the group there. Black can push in, but white captures, and then we make our remaining gote moves. And this one ends with white winning by 1. So that looks promising to me. Let's pause the video and I will confirm or find out I was wrong in the first place. Think I might be getting better at this. So this is the correct move. And there is one slight variation. So I didn't get it 100% right, but I feel really good about that move. And after black pushes in and hanes, instead of making this throw in, it's unnecessary apparently. White would just hane here. In fact, I wonder if that's a mistake. I wonder if perhaps no, it still works. I think. Anyway, so the white hane or the throw in is fine, and then afterwards shoring up the 2 other spaces, and the score ends up being the same. It ends up with white being ahead by 1 point. So it all comes down to reading skill, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get better at our reading, trying to get better at our end game. And here, the most obvious move is the wrong one, and it looks wrong, doesn't it? It just looks wrong. After a while, this should look wrong. You don't want to make a big, bulky group like this because of shortage of liberty problems. This group only has 3 liberties. It can get captured in 3 moves. This one only has 2. So while this black group here is not going to live, because of a shortage of liberty problem, especially in endgame, I think this is the takeaway, especially in endgame, this becomes a liability because black can do things to play forcing moves that black wouldn't be able to play if white played the correct move. So very interesting. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and all those good things, and we will continue to put out more content. We got game reviews on Wednesday, got some stuff coming up from the Jin Chen tournament here in Seattle. Some excellent losses on my part, so can't wait to review those. And then more Life and Death, and some more Endgame, typically on Mondays. So thanks for watching, and until next time, Excelsior.